welcome you all for the post-gate session for admission process for IISc and IITs. First of all, let me congratulate all of you to clear the gate exam with good ranks. And today we'll go through all the admission, cutoffs and ranks for IISc and IITs required, or last year, whichever was applicable. Let me introduce myself to you. I graduated myself from IISc in 2015 from SSA branch in 2013 to 15 session. So let's go through the session without any delay. So whatever information is trivial, I'll go through very fast. Like all the institutes like IITs, even NITs and IIScs offer these three programs basically: ME, MTech and MSc, where MSc or MS is research program. Okay, and ME and MTech are more of MTech is more project oriented program, and ME is a intermix of MS and MTech. So it has mix of both project and research orientation. So many institutes offer both programs, and most of them will be MTech or MS. ME is only offered, most is offered in IISc, but not in IITs. So, and as of all of you know, the scholarship provided is around 12,400. So let's begin with IISc Bangalore. As I said, I graduated myself from IISc Bangalore, so I can provide you more information from this college for obvious reasons. There are two departments in IISc Bangalore basically which deal with computer science programs. One is SERC and other is computer science and research. The SERC name has been changed, and yes. So the research areas in computer science offered in IISc Bangalore are basically mainly in computer systems, intelligence systems and database systems. Then in intelligence system areas like machine learning, speech recognition, speech processing, whereas in computer systems like database systems, distributed computing or high performance computing are provided. Even the compiler or computer architecture are also good there. So let's begin with the last year cutoff for SERC MTech admissions. It was 750 gate score for general category in 2015, which was a cutoff. And generally MTech admissions in SERC requires an aptitude test, whatever your rank is, but you will go through an aptitude test plus an interview. So there is no direct admission in computational science. Then all the other cutoffs you can see for other categories like OBC, SC, ST in the last column. Then CSA ME program is offered in two categories, CSE and SSA. So SSA is a joint program by electrical engineering and computer science, but you can take all the courses from both the departments. So you have the liberty to choose your courses, but SSA is a program which is concerned with the intelligence systems like machine learning or pattern recognition, related to big data. So these programs have direct admission. There is no interview process there. So in 2014, remember this is 2014 cutoff, not 15. It was 911 for gate score for direct admission, which is up to AR 60 for both CSE and SSA. Earlier IISc used to offer only one list for admission, but now if some people have not accepted their offer letters, it will roll out the new second list also. So the gate cutoff score and also rank will vary every year. Depending on if the top students have accepted it, then the cutoff will be high. If they have not accepted, then further people who have like less gate score or rank will accept it. So it's not accurate. So what I mean, the gate score, which is the cutoff gate score. Then there is another program, research oriented program, MSc, offered by computer science and automation department. They require an aptitude test and an interview. Aptitude test is very simple. I have given it, and it's like half an hour test. It will just test your very basics in computer science subjects. But interview will be more rigorous. There will be like 5 to 6 professors, taking your interview. So for 2015, gate score required for interview or written process was for general category 664. As you can see in the last column and third row, 664 for general, and for OBC also 664. AIR was around 1400 to 1500. This is for 2015 gate score. Then SERC also offers a similar program, which is like MSc in research, and it also requires you to go through a aptitude test and an interview. The test, as I said, written test will be very simple, but it will require you to test basics like in subjects like discrete mathematics, data structures, and rest. The 2014 gate score for interview was around 700. So and the rank is little less, like many people first prefer CSA and then ACRC. So yeah, so AIR 1500 was the cutoff for SCRC departments. Remind you the HCRC name has changed, so it's not SCRC now. So last date for online applications has been extended till 28th March for IISc Bangalore, and it will like till last minute of the day. So let me just go through the interview tips for IISc Bangalore's research interviews. As I said, all the programs which are related to research, MSc and MSc in engineering, requires you to go through an interview. So you need to have knowledge of discrete mathematics like probability, graph theory and all. Interview questions are generally based on the candidate preference. So if you have preferred, like you will be given a choice to select the areas. The areas can be any of these listed here. So for example, if you select any intelligent systems area, you will be required to go through probability and optimization interview. And if you select some systems oriented like database, you will be required to go through interviews in database or data structures. So interview questions depends on what preference you have given at the beginning. And cutoff report for 2015 can be found at this link. Basically, you just go through the admission website for IISc and you will find it out. So you can just note this down. I'll give you 5 seconds to just copy this. So yes, this much for IISc Bangalore, and there are good chances for till rank to 1500 for go through to get selected in research programs. Even the difference between research programs and this project oriented programs is that basically you will be required only to take 4 courses in research programs, and rest of the 3 semesters, first semester will be your courses, the next 3 semesters will be in research. So you will be working with a professor and you will be required to read research papers and come up with research proposal and implement it, and then show it some novelty in your approach so that it is actually research. So hope you have note down this admissions website for cutoff reports. Then let's go through IIT Bombay. IIT Bombay's programs are also research area also much similar to IISc Bangalore. Both of the colleges have neck to neck competition when it comes to students selecting these 2 colleges. Like people who are in top 100 ranks, they'll always be puzzled between these 2 colleges, because more or less the areas are same for research, and also placements are also same for both of the colleges. So IIT Bombay offers again 2 programs. One is teaching assistantship and other is research assistantship, and both of them will be given the degree of MTech in TA as a TA or teaching assistant, or MTech as an RA, research assistant. Mind you, MTech RA is for 3 years, and it does not have direct admission. It requires you go through a test and an interview. So the gate cutoff for direct admission is very high for CSE in IIT Bombay. It's around it goes up to AR 150, but most of the time it closes at 120, 130. So yeah, and for direct for interviews, research interviews, it goes through, I mean, up to AR 1000. This is not accurate. 1000 maybe it's less. You can also have 1200, 1300, and gate score should be 640. After that, you will be required to go through a test, written test, which will test your all knowledge in all the subjects. Where, like, for example, each subject may be having two questions from each subject, like data structures having two questions, database, compiler, programming languages. So all these subjects will be tested in the written test. Written test at IIT Bombay is little tough when compared to IISc Bangalore's written test. Yes, so yeah, once you clear the written test, then you will be required to go through an interview. So yeah, an MTech 2 years program, as I said, it is offered direct admission, and usually it's 120 AI cutoff. So if, for example, now the question is people who have less than 120 or 150 rank, they can apply to both programs. But depending on your interest, whether you want to have good research background once you leave the college, or you want to just do some courses and do project and get a good job, decent job, then you can apply for 2 years program. So it depends. It's not that if your gate rank is to 120 or 100, you should only apply to 2 years program. Research programs are also nice. It gives you a glimpse of research. It just introduces you to a research area so that you can later decide whether to go for PhD or not. So last date for application at IIT Bombay is April 5th, 2016, and written test for Computer Science RA is on May 18th. Further details can be found out at the admissions website at IIT Bombay, and there are some on the spot, or if some people have not accepted the offer and there are still seats empty, they will roll out the on the spot offer, and for which the dates can be found out at the website. So let's go through some interview tips. As I just told you in last slide, that they will test you in many, basic computer science subjects, and there will be at least one question from each subject, and then mathematics and general aptitude is also tested. Then it has both kind of questions, objective as well as subjective. Suggested topics for interview preparation are like DBMS, algorithms, networks, and discrete mathematics. Basically, if an IIT or IISc has good professors in any of the area, they will test you in those areas. It's as simple as it is. Then interview questions could be based on test paper and stressed interview. So whatever Hello, welcome back. So we have one more update for that. For IISc Bangalore aptitude tests and interview dates for MTech admission are April 18 to 20. So all this information you can also find it in the respective college website. So you are going through IIT Bombay's process. So yes, so as I said, the interview or written test will test you in basic core subjects, and suggested topics for interview preparation you can databases, algorithms, networks and discrete mathematics. And the interview questions, once you clear the written test, interview will be based on what you have written in your test paper. So it's not that you just just guess the questions and you will be through and you will get admission. Even those questions which were answered rightly will be may be questioned in the interview. So minimum qualifying gate score has been put up by the IIT as eligibility to apply for TA-ship. So for general category 750, OBC 675. And yes, last date, so April 5th, just apply as quickly as possible if your gate score is below for around 700 or at least 650. Now let's go to IIT Kanpur. So IIT Kanpur is basically more good in research, good in algorithm and theoretical computer science. So if you are interested in areas like machine learning, networks, IIT Kanpur may not be a good option, but certainly it offers you good research in theoretical subjects like algorithms. So yeah, so for it offers two kind of programs. One is MTech and MS, where MTech is project oriented and MS is research oriented. Both of them will be offered by the computer science department. Then admission process for both of them may be requiring test and an interview. It also gives you direct admission. If your gate scores are very high, then you get gate scores like 820 or up to a year of 80 to 90 might get you direct admission. Once for people like who have gate ranks from 100 to 300 to 400 will be required to go through a test and an interview. And test is 3 hours test. It is tough test actually. Like I have gone through that IIT Kanpur written test. It's almost like gate format, and mostly it will test you in all the algorithms, data structures subjects, and which are more theoretical like algorithms. Then research process also requires you to go through a test plus an interview, and AIRs are very high for the same, which is 200 according to the previous data, and gate score will be 750. So yeah, but IIT Kanpur research will be like it's not be, if you complete 2 years it will be done. It's little tough, and once you complete it you will be satisfied with your efforts. So last date for applying online for IIT Kanpur is 11th April, and according to our previous data, if you like to submit the completed application by post, was according to last year it was like 7 to 9 days from the last date. So interview test and interview tips. As I said, it is more like gate format, and it is a 2.5 hour test followed by an interview. Test paper syllabus is same as gate CS syllabus, and also negative marking will be there. Note this. It is around 60% technical and 40% aptitude. Suggested topics for interview preparations are mathematics, algorithms, theory of computation, DBMS. So you can see all of them are theoretical subjects. So in the beginning I said the colleges which are good in particular areas, they will test you in those areas because they are good in that. So IIT Bombay, IISc Bangalore are good in almost all areas. Like they have good faculties in all areas. IIT Kanpur has good faculty or experienced faculty in the theoretical subjects. So I request you, if your gate rank is 300 or 400, even 500 if your luck is good, then you will mostly get interview written call for IIT Kanpur. But don't be lazy, just keep preparing or keep brushing your concepts in gate subjects, because all the subjects will be asked in the written test, and it is 2.5 hour test. So don't miss this opportunity. And if your gate rank is below 80 and you want good theoretical subject knowledge, then IIT Kanpur is good option for you, and you can get direct admission. So yes, and the last dates for applying is 11th April. And IIT Madras. IIT Madras has recently been getting good faculties in intelligence systems. Then they have networks, hardware system, theoretical computer science, and human computer interaction. As you can see, the last four research areas deals with artificial intelligence or machine learning. And the first three are more of systems related, like hardware systems, networks, and distributed systems. So yes, IIT Madras also offers you two kind of programs: project oriented and research oriented. Project oriented is like MTech program, which has around 54 seats, and both of them are offered by computer science department. The MTech program gives you you can get only through direct admission. There is no test or an interview, and if you have up to AIR of 200, you should, even 300 I should say, you can apply, because IIT Madras offers 3 to 4 list. So takeoff is, if you have 300 to 400 rank, even you can apply to IIT Madras. Last date for applying is 15th April. So MS research program generally is more than 2 years program, like 2 to 3 years or 2 to 2.5 years. Then it's very, MS program for IIT Madras is also very competitive and good. Like I have seen many people taking MS degree from IIT Madras and going to many good colleges outside for PhDs. And the job opportunities for both research and MTech programs are same in all colleges. I forgot to mention that even if there are multiple programs in all colleges, it doesn't mean that the job opportunities will be different. Everyone can sit in any company. It just the company has to decide whether they want an MTech student or an MS student. But if you have good knowledge in data structure, algorithms, you can crack through any company. The degree doesn't matter. So yes, if you have around 1000 to 1200 rank in GATE, you will definitely get written test call for interview and for MSR. MSR means Master of Science by Research in IIT Madras. So interview tips, generally there are 3 to 4 lists are announced for direct admission, and there is a provision for spot admission. If there are some seats left, in the end they will call for spot admission, that will be single day. And yes, MS admissions, the research, Masters by Research, are taken in both odd and even semester. So if you want to get MS, just apply as soon as possible, because if you get multiple chances, you might get multiple, there are more chances to get through. So don't wait for the next even semester. So let me just again give you a summary that IIT Madras offers two programs, MTech and MS. MS is generally more than 2 years program, and once you complete research, then only it will be completed. AIR can be around 11,000 to 1200. It requires test and interview. And MTech admissions are direct admissions. AIR can be 200 to 300. So 200 is like minimum. If you have up to AIR 200, you will definitely get. But if you have 300 also, you can get in later list, like third list, fourth list. Then IIT Kharagpur. So IIT Kharagpur has faculty in almost all areas, you can see, but they are mostly good in what I've heard from many people, cryptography, networks, algorithms. So yeah, and any other areas like theoretical computer science, algebraic and numeric, theoretic computation, peer-to-peer networks, computational complexity theory, graph theory, formal verification, software engineering. They are varied areas, and almost all areas are covered. So let's go through the CSE departments, and it offers program MTech and there are around 67 seats. Admission process is direct admission, and 2015 cutoff for GATE score was 828, so it's very competitive. Around 828 means like GATE rank must be like around 100 to 150, not more than that. Then there are other programs also which you can get through, but like they are not related to computer science, but even if you have CS degree you can get through, like Educational Technology, Advanced Technology Development Center. But we are just focusing on CSE right now. So there are direct admissions for CSE, and yeah, if you do not get direct admission, like there are written tests and interview for research program also, but we do not have much information about it. There is like once you are called for test and interview, there is 70% weightage given to GATE performance and 30% to the interview. Personal interview will test the following: your motivation and aptitude for the program, basically how much motivated you are for the program. Basically they don't want just a candidate who just wants a degree or who just wants an IIT tag. You should be self-motivated for a research program, basically, because there are no courses, there are no deadlines. Courses are there, but there are 3 to 4 courses which will be required, which are prerequisites for your research. Once you complete those, then your 3 semesters will be should be self-motivated. Then you should have good oral communication skills and skills in basic science, engineering, and relevant areas like discrete mathematics. Yeah. So one more thing which I should say is that once you select or choose an program among the project oriented like MTech or ME or MS by research, if you are selecting by research program, you should be motivated enough to do research, because there will be no deadlines like in course programs. Like if there is an exam on happening on some date, you will have to be prepared by that date. But in research programs, there is no such date. You just have to be self-motivated enough for that, and it is valid for all colleges. Like it's not like only IIT Kharagpur. For all colleges, if you are selecting research program, you should be self-motivated. And IIT Delhi, this is more good in subjects like computer networks, related to computer networks, which I have information from my friends in IIT Delhi. But it has faculty in almost all areas, as it is in the very central part of the country, so many good faculties will be staying around. So algorithms and complexity theory, artificial intelligence, NLP, computer networks, DBMS, distributed systems, operating system, cloud computing, system security, multi-core parallel computation, graphics, computer vision, semantics and verification, everything. It offers you programs in everything, but more good is like in computer networks, and also algorithms faculty is good. So this has also project oriented MTech program and research oriented MTech program. So for like it has multiple departments for CSA people. Master in Computer Science, MCS, the program which is offered, and they will give you direct admission for up to AIR of 300, and if your AIR is crossing the 300 or 250, you will be getting an interview call. Mind you, there is no test for that thing. So this is one college where MTech which is project oriented will be having also an interview call. no written test. Otherwise, colleges like IIT Kanpur gives you an opportunity for written test, but here there is no written test, so there is a good option, a good possibility here for you to directly go through an interview and crack. Gate score are like very high, 800, around 800 for general, 720 for OBC, 550 both for SC/ST and PD candidates. So yeah, and other program like MS Research, there is a department called ASKIT, which offers MS by Research for computer science students. This has a written test and an interview. Up to AIR 500 people usually get called. So this all data, like whatever AIRs are given here, are among taken average of all the last previous years. So it's not much accurate, but even if you have like AIR around 600, 700, you should apply. It's just like it will be, the application fees may not be high, so you can apply actually and take your chances. Last date for submitting online application is 31st March 2016, and remember this time, it's not 11:59 p.m. it's 4 p.m. For direct admissions, minimum of 75% in your by BTech or bachelor's degree like BE also, or minimum of 8.5 CGPA. IIT Delhi is the only IIT which requires this criteria. Basically, they require you not only good GATE test, but also you should have been good throughout your bachelor's program. Yeah, so just remember this, you should have minimum of 75% or minimum of 8.5 CGPA to apply for IIT. If you don't have, just do not apply, they will not accept. Or yeah, so interview tips, they will test you in mathematics, and as I said, this has direct interview for direct admission, and its interviews are very easier compared to other IITs. So yes, the different things in IIT Delhi was, one is you need to have minimum of 75% in your BTech and or 8.5 minimum CGPA, and there is direct interview, no written test. If your GATE score is little less, like or GATE rank is around, let's say 300 to 400, 500. But for research program, there is written test. IIT Guwahati is one of the most beautiful campuses among all the IITs. So yes, it has also research areas in almost all fields of computer science, including machine learning, architecture, computer architecture, software engineering, algorithms. They have decent faculty. It's not that IIT Guwahati like ranks some 7 or 8, it is not good, but if your rank is around up to 1000, you should apply to IIT Guwahati, and it is one of the oldest IITs, as all of you know about it. So yeah, there are two kind of programs as all other IITs offer. One is research MTech, and other is in theoretical computer science, which is newly introduced. Admission procedure is they require you test an interview or direct admission, and for direct admission they will call you for counseling. If you have around 1000 AIR or even 1500, who knows, your luck can get through. Sometimes people don't apply and you still have a chance. So GATE score of around 700 to 750 should be good enough to to have good chances in IIT Guwahati. Then other course like theoretical computer science, which is just newly introduced, has around GATE up same cutoff. Last date for applying for IIT Guwahati is April 11th. I just repeat, 11th April, 5 p.m. Remember this time also. In IIT Delhi it was 4 p.m. in March 31st, which is just coming like 4 days away, and it is April 11th. Generally admission is based on a test conducted by the institute. So they do have direct admission, but most of the time they will call for test and interview. Test paper may be having 75 to 100 questions. Suggested topic for test preparation are mathematics, compilers, networks, theory of computation and operating system. And the exam is a bit easier than GATE, which should be obvious, because once you have taken GATE exam, why should you go through another exam, which personally I don't like, but you have to go through. So take off for this from this slide is, if you have around GATE rank of 1000 to 1200, you should apply to IIT Guwahati or other research programs in other IITs or IIScs. IIT Roorkee. So if some of you don't know that IIT Roorkee was once an engineering, just normal engineering college, Roorkee Engineering College, but it was given IIT status in 2001, and it is located in one of the northern part of India, and so they are mostly related to electronic subjects like embedded systems, fuzzy control, digital computations, coding and information theory, data mining, grid computing, wireless and distributed systems, digitalware, watermarking, image forensics, semantic web services. So very subjects which are not core to computer science but related to it. So if you have interest in all those areas, you can actually think of applying to IIT Roorkee. Let's see the GATE ranks. So first of all, there is no such research program in this, and it has direct admission for MTech, which is project oriented. If you have around 700 to 800 AIR, you should think of applying to IIT Roorkee. Last date for receiving of complete application is April 18th, and the online application last date is April 10th. Remember these dates. Admission is based on the normalized GATE marks. So till now we have gone through almost all the old IITs and IISc. So thing is, what you should remember is, up to 8 AIRs, 1000 to 1500, there are good IITs and good, even IISc you can get through admission. But for that you need to go through an interview at least. Some do not require written tests, and some of the written tests are easy. So for all those students who have got ranks less than 1500, less than means higher than 1500 means like 1000 or 500, you can, or you get another opportunity to get through these colleges, which is via interview plus test. Let's go through the new IITs now. Like first is IIT Hyderabad, and it has research. IIT Hyderabad has an advantage that it is located in high tech, one of the high tech cities. So you have good opportunities or good exposure to the companies. So if you want like good, opportunities for projects, IIT Hyderabad might be good for you. So research areas, and since it is new IIT, the research areas are not high, but still it gives you like network related subjects related to network, cryptography, parallel distributed and high performance computing, HPC, algorithms, bioinformatics, computer animation, system software and software engineering. Yes. So there are two kind of programs offered. One is 2 years program, which will be direct admission, and up to AIR 500. So it is still competitive. Even if it is new IIT, it's competitive because of the location of the IIT. So, and GATE scores are on usually 760, and if you have 761, you should get through it. In general category, 725 for OBC, 561 and 425 for SC/ST respectively. And there is 3-year program also for computer science students, and it will require GATE score and written test and interview. Up to AIR 1000, you should have to apply for written test. You can apply, but if you have good up to AIR 1000, you can get a call. Large rates for online applications are yet to be declared, and interview tips are like, they'll test you in good programming skills. They will have questions on DBMS, OS, networks, algorithms, data structures, and they may ask questions on written tests which you have given. They may ask questions on your BTech project also. basically, which I note from this is that they will have questions, or they will test, their interview tests are like basically like just private companies. If you go through any job interview or job questions, they will also test you in similar subjects and also programming skills. All other IITs don't test you in programming skills, but this particular will also test you in these subjects. So it is more like a private company test. IIT Jodhpur was established again in 2008. It has the same areas as research areas as in IIT Hyderabad. So yeah, this is so if you have particular interest in some subjects, just go through those areas in the new IITs. You might be actually making a mistake. So before applying to new IIT, you should go through the research areas. These areas may not be not important in all older IITs, but new IITs you should actually see this. So, for example, IIT Jodhpur has good faculty in cryptography, network security, parallel distributed high performance computing, algorithms, bioinformatics, computer architecture, animation, system software and software engineering. The department which offers MTech here is Center of Excellence in Information and Communication Technology. Very big name, but it offers you in almost same IT, MTech, Information and Communication Technology, and it has a written test and interview up to AR 1200. All the students who have got above 40 marks are called for interview. Cutoff is like, who finally gets admission are like 676 for general, 630 for OBC, 450, 430 for SC/ST. And there is one more program which for related to systems program, system science, and it is again given you an opportunity for having a written test. AIR is not that high, but it's 1200. Even if you have 1500, you should apply. But remember, if you should be good in, or you should have interest in these areas. Interview tips. Notification has not yet been declared. 2011 pattern was they had 30 questions on general aptitude and basic mathematics, and it was for 1 hour. They apply stress on mathematics, in-depth subject knowledge in 3 to 4 core subjects, which you might be asked before the interview to choose the subjects of interview. IIT Patna is also a new IIT, and as I said, before applying to any new IIT, IIT Hyderabad, Jodhpur, Patna, and further, you should go through the research areas offered by them. For example, if you don't have interest in, let's say, if you have interest in machine learning or any other subject which is not offered in these IITs, then you might be wasting your 2 years and your degree. So your research areas which are offered in IIT Patna are related to discrete structures, number theory, cryptography, cyber security, software engineering, large scale scientific computation, graph theory, fuzzy sets, artificial intelligence, pattern recognition, computer networks and distributed systems, mathematical modeling, design of experiments. So again, it offers 2 kind of programs. One is by the CSE department, and the admission procedure is like 70% weightage will be given to your gate score and 30% for the interview. So basically you have to go through an interview, there is no direct admission. And if you are up to AR 1500, you can actually apply. CSE and mathematics department also offers a combined program called mathematics and computing. Same weightage or same admission procedure, 70% weightage to your gate score and interview 30%. Up to AIR 1700 is the gate cutoff AIR, and the interview will be held to test the skills in basic science, engineering and mathematics areas. You can go through this slide. So if you have gate rank basically below 2000, you can actually apply, provided you have interest in these areas. Then NIT. basically all the NITs offers you one single program for which is called MTech. There is no research oriented program, and it has given the liberty. Once you take it, you can actually choose to have a project or research. Up to AIR 3500, basically like gate score of 450 to 500 should be good enough to get you an admission. CCMT seat allotment shall be done once preference filling is over. The seat allotment will indicate the college and branch allocated to each candidate. So all the NITs I guess offers is a centralized counseling, unlike all other IITs, which is actually simplified for the candidates. So you do not have to apply to each NIT separately. It's like centralized counseling, and candidate must be careful when giving preference order. This will be done in 4 rounds. Provision of spot admission, like once all the seats are filled or once all the rounds are finished, if there are some seats empty, there will be spot admissions, and they may be scheduled by individual participating institutes to fill the seats remaining vacant. So remind you, this is not centralized. So each NIT can have their own spot admission dates, and gate ranks around 3,500 or to 4,000. If you have in this range, you can apply. PSU is recruiting through gate. So like we have told you about IITs, NIT and IIScs, and there are further colleges like triple IITs. They, if you are thinking, if you have ranks around 2000 AIRs, I will suggest, as my personal opinion, go to triple IITs like IIT Hyderabad, IIT Bangalore, but they will have their own exam also. Yeah, so you have to check whether gate they accept gate ranks or not. But NIT does accept gate ranks, and 3000 to 4000 is good, decent rank. And NIT Trichy, Warangal, Surathkal are good for MTech if compared to new IITs. Then there are some, as you know, many PSUs have started recruiting through gates in last 5-6 years. And first is IOCL, which the standard packages offered by all the PSUs are same around, which are 11 LPA, and the selection procedure is group discussion and some case study, which are followed by a personal interview. You should be aware of company profile. You should have an in-depth technical knowledge in 3 to 4 subjects. Suggested subjects are like computer networks, digital circuits, DBMS, OS, programming concepts, which is obvious. If you go to a company, you should be good in programming. Be prepared with BTech project. Interview will not be helpful in general. It will be a stress interview. So yeah. Then Power Grid Corporation of India. This is like during training, it gives you a package around 8 lakhs per annum, and after training you get around 14 lakhs per annum. Number of vacancies for computer science are around 5 overall in all years. Selection procedure is like last year it was 85% weightage to your gate marks, and group discussion 3% weightage, and interview was 12% weightage. AIR below 300 can expect a call. Interview tips: candidates can be aware of a company profile. Should be aware of company profile. Candidates should have in-depth technical knowledge in 3 to 4 core subjects. Same subjects as covered in last company: computer networks, digital circuits, DBMS, OS, programming concepts. Then BTech project, and it will be stress interview. Mind you, these all PSU, they'll test you in basically all these subjects, which are like related very core computer science subjects, like DBMS, operating system, computer networks. These are considered to be the core subjects, including operating systems. So these companies also deal with embedded systems. So that's why they test you in these subjects. So yeah, if you know the theory of embedded systems and all, you would know why they test in these subjects like OS, DB, networks, yeah, and digital circuits also. Then Oil and Natural Gas Corporation, ONGC, there are a number of vacancies for like around 26, and the profile is Material Management Officer 22, and there are Programming Officer 4. Selection procedure is like 60% weightage to gate score, 15% weightage to interview, 25% weightage for your qualification, like how much BTech score and all that thing. AIR below 250 can expect a call for interview. You should be aware of company profile. You should just not land up there and you don't know anything about ONGC. You should know what ONGC or other PSU does if you go to the interview. 3 to 4 subjects and almost same subject I just said earlier: OS, DB, digital circuits, networks, and programming. Then BTech project, what you have done in your project. Then it will be stress interview. Punjab State Power Corporation Limited, packages offer are like this is 16,650 to 39,000 plus grade pay 5,800. This is per month, which is quite obvious. Selection procedure is like GD and interview. In AIR below 500 can expect a call. Interview tips: candidate can be aware of company profile, should be aware of company profile, and they should have in-depth knowledge of 3 to 4 core subjects, which were subjects were like this. Basically, you should have subjects, as I said, in core CS subjects like OS, DB, networks, then even microprocessors like. Then Bharat Broadband Network Limited, they also offer almost similar packages as Punjab State Power Corporation, 16,000 to around 40,000. Selection procedure is gate score of 75%. They 75% weightage to your gate score and 25% weightage to your interview. AIR below 350 can expect a call. Should be aware of a company profile, have in-depth knowledge of 3 to 4 core subjects. Almost same procedures. I guess only the package is different in all the companies, everything is same. Then GD topics for almost all companies are like impact of IPL on Indian business, retail business in India, moral or money, which is important. Celebrities should be responsible for endorsing unhealthy products. These are basically various GD topics, which are actually good topics. If you think about it, you will have multiple views on it. Either you have pro, or against these topics. So in GD, basically, you should hold one side. You should not be like ambiguous. Like let's say for example, impact. Should celebrities be held responsible for endorsing unhealthy products? If you are saying they should not be responsible, you should hold that point in GD. Should not be saying multiple views. So these are like what I am giving is GD tips basically. Like in group discussion, basically, first of all, you should be tested in your communication skills, and then how well you put up your point. Then how do you lead the group? Sometimes in GD, if you start so there will be someone at least who will start the discussion. So if you have started, you should be very smart enough to conclude also. Like if you go to any meeting, company meeting or a meeting in any college, there is some person who holds the meeting who is called a host, right? So host has a responsibility to start it and also conclude it. So if in GD you start it, be aware to conclude it also based on the whole discussion happened in the GD. Then you should hold, and if for people who are starting second or later, you should hold one side of the topic. Like most of the topics will be like either you should be pro or against. They will not be like just discussion on this. Like for example, the topic like Mahatma Gandhi ideology is still valid, whether it is valid or not. So if you say give points it is valid, you should continue to give more valid points to prove it. You should not keep on saying yes or no for this. This shows that you are confused about the topic. Then is TV an idiot box? Like, is there, most of the questions are asking questions like yes or no. Basically you can give yes or no, but in GD you should justify your points and you should hold your view, whether yes or no. And the group leader who starts should conclude. And further topics are like net neutrality and Niti Aayog, intolerance in India, black money issues, odd and even no systems implemented by AAP government in Delhi. These are very recent topics. So basically, if you are planning to go to PSU, you should read news every day, actually, for let's say 10 to 15 days news, and so that you get an idea what is going on, and then you can hold your view. Suppose you don't know about a topic, how will you hold the which side of the topic you take? And if by chance you don't know about the topic, better not to say any wrong things. You just say, I do not have much idea about this topic, but still if you have some logical reason for some topic, you can tell that. But before that, you just claim that you do not have knowledge. So don't beat around the bush, you just don't say anything. Then there are further topics like Swachh Bharat, Make in India, Startup, Smart Cities, Facebook, Twitter, chats, app role is a society, particularly to avail the government scheme services, FDI in Indian economy, about Ganga River, technology support to clean Ganga, about World Culture Festival organized by Shri Shri Ravi Shankar. These are the expected topics, basically. So mind you, these were the topics which held in last years. These years, what can the GD's topics be? This we have taken out from all the, all the current news going on, and very good topics to be. Even if you don't go to the GD, if you should think about it and hold a view on it. Then standard interview questions are like introduce yourself. You should prepare yourself. For even in IISc or IITs, this is the first question, or any company interview. This is the first question is like, how do you introduce yourself? Like, first of all, you should write down on the piece of paper about yourself, which should highlight you. You should not tell about your family history much, like you have these many brothers or sisters. You have very less time to impress yourself. So it's like, as you said, as it is said, first impression is the last impression. So that introduction of yours will put an impression on the interviewers, whether you are giving an interview in PSU or even in IIT or ISU for research programs. So you should write down on a piece of paper what actually describes you, like which college you are from. Suppose if you are from a good college, you should say that first. If you got very good BTech marks, you should also try to put it in your interview in some smart way, but not required. Then from which place you are, from which college you did your BTech, and what are your ambitions, why do you want to do this, join this company, or why do you want to join this program in IIT or any IIT or IISc. Then questions related to BTech project. If by chance you have not done good in your BTech project, just make sure you handle that situation, because almost all IITs, IISc and even PSUs will focus on your BTech project. Then questions related to the company profile. Before going to any company, even forget about PSU, if you go to any private company interview, you should read about the company profile, what does it do. So basically, in the end, when the interview is finished, you should also post some questions. Obviously, when you go through some company's profile, you will have some questions in mind. You ask those questions in the interview and they will be impressed that this candidate has some interest in their company. Why should they take someone who do not have the interest in their company? And then basic questions from all the subjects. This is like required in all interviews. Basically like basic knowledge from all the subjects. So like I'm almost done with my my presentation about post-GATE session. So takeaway from this session is that admissions in IIT and IISc, if you have gate rank of around 2000, you can get in some IIT an interview call, and you can get written test also. If you have gate rank below 300, you can get direct admission in IIT Delhi, Chennai or Kharagpur, Guwahati. Okay, then if around 1000 gate ranks, you should apply. I suggest if you have gate rank around 1000, you should apply to IISc Bangalore, IIT Madras and IIT Bombay, because these are good colleges in research according to my previous experience. And for PSUs, if I suggest, my personal opinion would be that go for an MTech program instead of going through PSU, because you will not get again an opportunity to do an MTech program. So yes, I am done, and you can ask your questions if you have any at the given number.